moaning is kind of a sad thing, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it because it's kind of an inevitable problem that you can't do much about that I know of. HHW Firewood is going to have to close up shop. Just let me show you here what I'm talking about. This here, as you saw before, all of this was full of wood, and this is all that I have left because I had it all stacked up. I had all of my locust over in that corner, and it all got termites in it. But that was next to the house, so I sold it real cheap. It was $900 worth of wood, and I had to sell every bit of it for, I think it was 120 bucks is what I ended up letting it go for, because it was right next to the house and I didn't want the termites moving into the wood of the house. So it was a huge loss, but another guy, he bought it, so it's out of my hair now. But one thing, the reason for all of this is, let's see if I can find one here that has it. Termites have moved into all of this wood, and the thing that you can tell is these little holes that are in the wood. See right there? And what I've noticed is mainly it's just on the bark side of the wood. They don't get into like this side too much. It's mainly just like you can see on here. Well, maybe not that one. Let's see if I can find one that's a little more obvious. Let's see, they've left some of the oak alone, but sweet gum, they love sweet gum. If you can see all those little tiny holes that are on this one. But yeah, that kind of thing. For pretty much the whole, pretty much like about right here, for the whole stack long, termites have gotten in. And one of the ways that you can tell that you've got them, just by glancing without digging through it all, is, see if we can find some here. Probably just knock this pile down a little bit. See if I can find a real obvious section that has it. Well, right offhand, you can see those little holes, and there's a bunch of little tiny piles of sawdust that will form on the log below because they get up into there on the bottom side, and they just start tunneling right up into it, and all that sawdust that they get out, they shove down. So on the log below, there's a little pile of sawdust. And so I sold all the stuff that was over there, and then for this stuff, all the stuff that was piled up on the top, I was able to sell. But the rest of it, for the most part, I'm gonna have to get rid of. And this is how I've been getting rid of it. A lot of the big logs that were stacked over there, that bare patch right there, it was this giant pile of crap wood that was just like the forks in the tree, because when a tree forks, right down there at the fork, you can't really split it. I've got a 25-ton splitter, and it gets down into that and it has trouble going through it. Plus it doesn't stack all that great and all, and it's just the wood twists and turns and goes all over the place, so there's not really a grain to follow. So I took all of that pile. There was, right over here, there was a big pile of hedge. I had some more down in the corner over there. And then there was a bunch stacked up over right in front of this swing set that was there. And then over here in front of the deck, that big bare patch right there, there was a big pile of ash. And bugs got to all of it. And so I wasn't able to really do anything with it. But I found a tree line down the road from here, and I loaded it all up in the truck. I think I took 6 loads down there, and I just backed up to the tree line, tossed it all out, because it's wood going back into the woods. I didn't think there'd be any problem with it, so I dumped it in the woods. Returned it to where it came from. So the way I get rid of it, instead of throwing it away, I was originally going to get a dumpster. Instead of doing that, I took the fun way, and I make a big old bonfire. I just dug a hole in the yard. It's maybe 4 or 5 feet around and probably about a foot and a half deep. And I just tossed it all in there, burn every bit of it. Plus, it's a fun little way to do it, because then the wife and I get to come out here and sit around the fire, chit chat, listen to some music, and look for something that'll come up in a later video. So, unfortunately, HHW Firewood is going to have to close its doors, because it's a ton of work to get this stuff done, and I'm not any stranger to hard work. It's just the time and the balancing between my regular day job, which I get 65 to 80 hours a week. 65 to 80 hours a week at different times, because sometimes I'll work from 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes it's 6 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then he'll put me on the night shift where I work 7:30 to sometime early morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then every now and then I get the 24-hour shift. And recently, last week, I had 2 36-hour shifts, where I started at 6 o'clock in the morning Tuesday morning and didn't get off until 6 o'clock Wednesday night. And between that, trying to do all that, and then balancing that and splitting wood, stacking wood, and even with the wood that I had stacked, coming home from work, loading up the trailer, because it takes quite a bit of time to load that trailer up, because there's not really a good way. I can pull through the gate, and then I pull right down the middle here, and I can't really get over towards the fence with it. And I don't deliver stuff just toss loads. It's all stacked nice and neat, so that people know that they're getting the amount that I tell them they're getting. And I've done all the math and all on the trailer, how everything stacks up to be an actual face cord and actual cord. So since I can't get right up to it, I have to pull down through the middle here, go over to the fence, load up an arm load, walk over, climb up onto the trailer, drop it down, stack it, go back, grab another arm load. So if somebody orders a cord, that's like a 2-day deal after work. Come out, load up half of it, then go inside, eat dinner, go to bed, come out the next day when I get off work if I have time, and load up the rest of it. So it's a lot of time involved, a lot of effort involved. All of this wood I've handled at least 7 times, between going out, cutting it, loading it onto the trailer, bring it home, unload it, and then once I'm ready to do it, to split it all, stack it down onto the ground. I'd cut it all into sections, and then pick it up and stack it over by the splitter, and then I'd have to split it, throw it into a pile, and then I'd have to pick it up from the pile and split it, or pick it up from the pile and stack it. And then once somebody orders it, pick it up from that pile, stack it on the trailer, then get to their house, take it off of the trailer, stack it where they want it. So there's a lot of handling involved, and it takes a lot of time, and I don't got much time these days, so I'm going to be calling it quits on the firewood business, unfortunately. But I will think of something else for a side business where I can make some kind of extra money outside of work. Because right now we got some stuff in the making that hopefully, if everything goes right, I'll be making videos that are a lot cooler in a lot better area. Because right now you can see I don't have any room. Yeah, this fence wasn't always here. My backyard just went straight up to my neighbor's house. And then I've got neighbors on all sides, so I can't really have a whole lot of fun. So if that works out well, then I'll be telling you guys about it. But kind of a sad thing, but you know, when one business fails, you find another. So I'm gonna keep on trucking. So that's all I got. Y'all be good.